Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alessja, I'm Italian, and well, despite having pink hair, I think I want to talk about something serious today. The thing is, I think I should start with a little history of my channel, meaning I had actually two channels. This one that I use, it's a little bit longer, I think. I used to have this channel where I used to make videos in English for my pen pals from all over the world, but then I realized they were not so interested, and many Italians actually liked my channel when I talked about Germany, so I started making videos about Germany. This is gonna get really long. So I used to make these videos in Italian for an Italian public, of course, talking about Germany, and I created a second channel in English talking about, I don't know, general topics, whatever came to my mind. And on that second channel I was going to speak in English and to talk about things that I thought could interest to international public. So I was talking about Italy, I was teaching Italian, I was doing various things. But I soon realized that, because I have analytics of course, that all the people I had on that second channel were mostly Italians who, I don't know, just loved hearing me speak in English, but they were Italians, so I felt it didn't make so much sense to have two separate channels where I talked about the same things. I felt the obvious thing to do was closing down my English channel, and that's what I did. But I really like to make videos in foreign languages for several reasons. First of all, I like to practice my language skills. This is my channel. I'm the one who's gonna choose what's going to be on it. And I actually noticed that there are still people watching my videos. So I'd say mission accomplished. Let's close this huge premise and let's get back to the main topic. So a few days ago I was watching a video on another channel, of course not on mine, and there was this guy who was talking about the importance of speaking English. He's a father, he lives in the UK, and basically told his story. He had his son, he took him to school, and there he met another father and tried to talk to him. But he soon realized he didn't understand so much of what his other father was saying, because he had a really strong, I think it was Irish accent. He felt ashamed by that, and he told about his experience when he went back to Italy and made a conference actually talking about, I have no idea, I think his business. And he was speaking in English and everyone was like, everyone thought he was great, and when he actually felt embarrassed when he was talking to a native speaker, he was like, no, I'm not, I can't even say whatever I need to, and I can't interact, I can't speak, and that means my English is awful, it's simply awful. It's not a matter of accent, it's a matter of being able to express yourself. And I think that's what I'm trying to say in many of my videos too, that it's not a B2, a C1, or however you want to call a certificate that says you can talk or you can speak in a language. I'm not saying that language schools are for nothing, are worthless. I'm just saying that the level they give you, it's just a matter of how you know the grammar. But knowing the grammar isn't enough to conversate with someone. And it's funny because I already told this, I think, in another video, that I'm studying German, so when I went to this language school to learn German, I had to do an entrance exam and try to, of course, speak and answer some exercises. But before, I had to get to the desk and ask, I want to follow this kind of course, I'm not sure which level I'm at, so can you please give me this test just so that I know where I can get in. So they gave me the papers and they said, oh, you don't need to worry, your German is great. And I actually wasn't so sure about it. And when I took the test and gave back the papers and they corrected them, they actually scored the level I thought I had and not the level they thought I had, which was higher than the one I thought. Which means sometimes what we perceive is different than what other people perceive. I'm actually faster speaking, so I think that is related to it, meaning that when I speak a language, I don't stop so much. I don't need time to think about the words. I guess I don't give that feel that I need to think about words too much, so that is something that comes naturally to me, and people think I'm great. I just think in my head in the language and then say what I think, which is not always the right thing to say or something meaningful in that context. I commented under the video to tell my experience, which was that I think that that's a huge issue just for people in their 30s or older, because I see them, and that teenagers or younger people are quite good at speaking English and can conversate and can understand what a native English speaker is saying. So I think that they might not be perfect, this might not be related to anyone, any teenager, but I still feel that nowadays there are more teenagers than when I was in school that are able to actually understand and speak English at a level that I wouldn't say decent, that's good, that's quite enough. I mean, that's what they need to conversate with other English native speakers or foreigners, because as this guy said in his videos, even in England, it's not like everyone is a native speaker. There are Turkish people, there are Indians, there are people from all over the world going there. And they have accents. They don't speak a perfect English, but it's understandable. So it's not much of the accent, it's not just the accent, and it's not the grammar to some extent that prevents you from speaking and understanding a language such as English. Under my comment, I got so many replies. I wouldn't say they were angry, but they were really unpolite. That actually said that it's people like me who don't speak English, don't understand it, who can't really understand how teenagers aren't really able to speak English. They just say a few words all together and make it feel like it's English, but it's actually not. And that if I were able to understand and speak English, I would see how bad they are speaking it. Well, I think that if anyone in Italy who speaks a bad English and can't speak it and can't understand it speaks it like me, well, English wouldn't be that huge of an issue in my country. As I said elsewhere, I have this feeling that in Italy we really hate our country, and that any reason is good to talk bad about it. And I think it's sad because foreigners, for example, tend to like it and are happy to come here, and we are really the ones who talk so bad about it and so bad about people who live in this country. There's always something wrong about it. We're ignorant. As I said so many other times, on the internet is always, I don't know, people acting differently and always have to complain. And I feel that whoever spends so much time on the internet, I wouldn't say mostly, but sometimes, because it's not so well integrated into society. Many times I see people with self-esteem issues, such as those who wrote on the videos, because there was a guy who was saying, I never got past a B2, and that's so bad. A B2 is kind of an intermediate level of a language, which isn't bad at all. It's enough because it's set. It's not you telling it, it's the rules. Whoever is able to interact with a native speaker without too much of an effort is called a B2, and it means you're able to say whatever you need to. So your English, if you're a B2 and you have a certificate that says you're a B2, you didn't try and test online to tell that, but if you went to a school and you got a certificate that says you're a B2, it means you're able to talk to a native speaker. You could improve your English, you could improve your German, whatever language you speak, but you're good at it. This is not to defend myself, to tell my English is perfect, because it's not. I have some room of improvement. But I still think people are sometimes too hard on themselves, on the others, especially other Italians, and can't see how even in the other countries they have the same issues. One of the things they told me was, go there, go abroad, and you'll see how it's different. Well, I went abroad and I didn't really see so much difference. I see how people in other countries hate their countries too. I feel those telling me I had to go abroad don't really know what's like living abroad, because it's really different to go abroad for 1 week, 2 weeks for a vacation and actually live in a foreign country. On my channel I frequently talk about Germany. In the comments I realize how people think Germany is perfect. Germany is such a better place than Italy. And if you're a foreigner and if you're from, I don't know, from Germany or England or whatever country you're from, is there people there too that think that their country is such a bad country and the other are such better countries? Because really one of the issues in Italy is that we talk bad about ourselves and we feel that anything else is better. I really don't know where these people that say that no Italian can speak English come from, because I watch a lot of English channels, and especially when there's a foreigner talking about Italy, there are so many comments from Italians that are actually Italians living in Italy, not Italians, Americans, Italians from, I don't know, German Italians or whatever, that actually comment on the video. And even when the video doesn't have subtitles, it means they can understand what that person is saying in English and make a comment, and most of them are actually correct. There are people, there are Italians who are able to understand English and convey a message in that language, in this language. As I answered under that video, I think it depends on where you go, which people you surround yourself with, because if you always follow like short Italian videos or the trendy videos on the Italian YouTube, of course there are no people who are able to speak English or who make mistakes or who are not even interested in speaking a foreign language. But if you go on international channels, if you go on the, I'd say, most unknown web, you'll find Italians who have entire channels in English, who comment on English videos, and especially teenagers, youngsters, those who you think are ignorant, are unable of doing anything useful, that you hate so much. And I believe you see that on this channel too, because I'm making a video in English, and even under my English videos I have around 100, 200 views. And those are views from Italian people who, even if I don't write subtitles, understand what I'm saying and are here. And this time I think we have to prove something. There are people in Italy who believe everyone is ignorant as they are, just because they surround themselves with ignorant people. That doesn't mean everyone's like that, and that doesn't mean there aren't Italians who are actually able to understand English. So for this time I would like you to write the comments in English. So I see I'm running out of time, because I think I have to close this video quickly. And if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. In any case, explain me why. And I would beg you to comment under this video in English, so that we can prove those guys who really believe there's no Italian who can speak a decent English, that they're so wrong about this. If you like hearing me speak in English, just come back next month, because I'm gonna do 1 video per month in English. And see you!